The World Cup has always been a platform for previously unknown players. It is the biggest competition in the world which always has the whole world tuned in. So play well enough and you could have clubs fighting over you. In 2014, James Rodriguez got his move to Real Madrid off the back of his performances at the World Cup. In 2022, it was Enzo Fernandez who got a record-breaking move to Chelsea. Who's it going to be this year? There are a few names. These are 10 players set to get big moves from the 2026 World Cup. We'll start with Aayou Badi. The teenager was one of the revelations of the 2026 World Cup. Born in France, he only just switched allegiance to Morocco weeks before the World Cup and was immediately included in the squad. He would go on to start 5 of Morocco's 6 games and he was brilliant each time. This forced top clubs to start to chase him. Reports say that Arsenal, PSG and Liverpool are interested in snatching the youngster from Lille, but Manchester City currently lead that race. It's also likely to be a big money move, all thanks to the World Cup. Another young player who's set to get a big move from the World Cup is Johan Manzambi. He has been one of the best young players at this tournament. Interestingly, he was never expected to start at this World Cup, but when he came off the bench and scored a brace against Bosnia and Herzegovina, he just never returned to the bench until his injury. After 5 goal involvements in 4 games, top European clubs started to ask about him, but it was Newcastle who managed to get him after reaching an agreement with Freiburg for a €60 million transfer fee. Next up, Crysencio Somerville. He is no stranger to Premier League clubs and fans, but seeing him perform the way he did on the biggest stage got clubs more interested in him. Interestingly, he was not expected to make the Netherlands World Cup squad. In fact, he only just made his senior team debut a few days before the tournament. But Koeman included him in his squad and actually started him. He scored his first international goal in the opening game against Japan to put the Netherlands 2-1 up. And in the next game against Sweden, he came off the bench to score and provide an assist. Seeing him do this on the biggest stage made top clubs start to ask for him. And it didn't matter that he missed the penalty in the shootout against Morocco. After all, it was he who set up the Netherlands' only goal in that game. Reports say that Spurs, Liverpool and Man United are all very interested in him and he could end up going for about £50 million. So it's surely safe to say that he is set to make a big move this summer. And it might really be the summer for wingers because Hassan also announced himself at this World Cup. Just like Badi, he was born in France, but he switched to Egypt in March and was named in their World Cup squad. Being a right winger, it was expected that he'd barely get any playing time with Mo Salah in the team, and that was how things started. He got 0 minutes during the group stage. But he came off the bench in the round of 32 game against Australia and was phenomenal. He was so good that he forced the coach to change his formation and change Salah's position in order to fit him into the team. And in the round of 16 match against Argentina, he was a real menace. He absolutely terrorized the champions' defense and created Egypt's second goal. Those 2 games forced the world to take notice of him. Liverpool, Celtic and a few other clubs across Europe and Saudi are reportedly interested in him. And with his release clause set at £10 million following Real Oviedo's relegation from La Liga, a big move seems all but guaranteed for the 24-year-old winger this summer. Also watch out for Julian Quinones. He was one of the stars of this World Cup, famously scoring the opening goal of the tournament. He would go on to score in all but one of Mexico's games, finishing with 4 goals in 5 games, which put him joint top for most goals at the World Cup by a Mexican player. And interestingly, he has a good CV outside the World Cup. He just beat Cristiano Ronaldo and Ivan Toney to the Saudi Pro League Golden Boot, so he's a player who has shown that he knows how to score goals. Having now also shown that he can do it on the biggest of stages, it just might be time for him to finally make a move to Europe for the first time in his career. Reports say that some English clubs like Chelsea are closely monitoring him, and well, they got a good view when he went up against England in the round of 16, so that might have improved his chances. Another attacker set to get a big move from his World Cup performances is Antonio Nusa. His wonder goal against Côte d'Ivoire alone forced everyone to pay attention to him. But on top of that, his dribbling, speed, chance creation and overall wing play throughout the tournament have forced clubs to take notice of him. According to reports, there's already a battle between Arsenal, Spurs, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Newcastle for his signature. And he could end up going for £50 million, which is not a bad price for a player of his quality. Basically, right now, everything is pointing to the 21-year-old leaving Leipzig and moving to the Premier League this summer. Interestingly, he was close to moving to England 2 years ago after an agreement was reached with Brentford, but Leipzig ended up hijacking the move. But well, it's looking like the World Cup is going to take him to England eventually. Another player who might be moving to England this summer is Maxi Araujo. This World Cup was absolutely terrible for Uruguay, but one person who got something out of it was Maxi Araujo. He was directly involved in 3 goals in 3 games and also became the first Uruguayan in 56 years to score and assist in the same World Cup game. His performances have drawn interest from Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal, and it is expected that the versatile 26-year-old will be leaving Sporting Lisbon to join one of those clubs this summer. Up next is Aayou Badi. The 27-year-old striker had a decent outing with Japan, leading the attack in the absence of Mitoma and Minamino. He started every one of Japan's games, finishing with 3 goal involvements in 4 games. At this moment, there's a very high chance that he'll be leaving Feyenoord, with clubs in England and across Europe seemingly interested in securing his services. And there have also been reports linking Felix Nemecha with a move to the Premier League following his dominant performances at the World Cup. Germany was surely very disappointing, but the midfielder impressed a lot of people with his passing, ball-carrying, defensive contributions and chance creation. Thanks to all that, he might really end up being the subject of a multi-million euro move in this window, with Liverpool, Newcastle and Man United reportedly interested in snatching the Man City Academy graduate from Borussia Dortmund. The price though might be a tad bit lower due to how Germany played in the knockout phase. Finally, Vozin might get himself a big move this summer as well. He is one of the biggest stories to come out of this World Cup after incredible performances against 2 of the tournament favourites, Spain and Argentina. Before this summer, not many people knew who he was, but he really announced himself to the world, making incredible saves and breaking records at the highest level. The only thing really standing in his way right now is his age. He's 40 years old, and that's surely making the biggest clubs hesitate. If he was even just 10 years younger, we're sure a good number of top European clubs would be all over him by now. But even at the age of 40, what we saw from him at the World Cup might still be able to get him a big move. He came into the tournament as a free agent, having said goodbye to Chaves, a second division Portuguese club, so any club who wants to get him won't have to pay any money in transfer fees. That's a huge incentive. There are rumours saying that Inter Miami are interested in signing him, some Brazilian clubs are in the race, and we could also see Saudi joining as well. Considering the clubs he has on his CV, joining any of these clubs would be a big move for Vozin. Anyway, it is now time to hear from you guys. Which other players do you think are set to get big moves from this World Cup? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.